Hi, this is Dr. Tiffany Jackson, naturopathic doctor at Natural Medicine Now University. Thank you for joining our webinar, A Health Promoting Diet. There is a growing appreciation of the role of diet in determining our level of health. It is now established that certain dietary practices can cause or prevent a wide range of diseases. The human body is truly one of the universe's major wonders. It deserves to be fed a high-quality diet, but most Americans aren't giving their bodies the nutrition that it needs. When a machine does not receive the proper fuel, it cannot run in an efficient manner. If your body does not have the full range of nutrients it needs, how can it be expected to stay in good health? The purpose of this webinar is to introduce you to a growing field of nutritional medicine by focusing on key recommendations for a health-promoting diet. Not only will you learn what foods to eat to optimize your health, but I will also teach you what foods you need to avoid. So let's get started. To start off, we're going to talk about food additives and coloring agents. For decades now, the food industry has continually created new chemicals to manipulate, preserve, and transform our food. With the use of chemicals, scientists are able to mimic natural flavors, color foods to make them look more natural and fresh, and preserve foods for longer periods of time. There are even food products that are made entirely from all chemicals. Such manipulation of our food has a profound effect on our body's unique biochemical balance. Here at Natural Medicine Now, we recommend you read the list of ingredients on your food packaging. If you can't pronounce something, chances are good that it is a food additive. As you can see from the slide, there are common additives found in many processed foods, such as potassium sorbate, which is used for killing mold, propylene glycol, which is used as a thickening and texturer, and it's also used as antifreeze for cars and airplanes. There's aspartame and titanium dioxide, which is a white coloring. So begin avoiding most of these questionable additives in your foods. Make a decision to either cut down or cut them out altogether, because now you know how hazardous they are to your health. It may seem difficult to change a habit, but you will find substitutes for more foods to enjoy in the rest of this webinar. For optimal health, it is important to eliminate the intake of foods that contain trans fatty acids and partially hydrogenated oils. Hydrogenated oils are made by cooking vegetable oils at high temperatures and adding hydrogen. This process enables the oil to cool as a solid. Unlike saturated animal fats like butter and lard that already have hydrogen molecules, hydrogenated fats are artificially saturated. Your body does not recognize this process, and it has a difficult time digesting the molecules, causing them to remain in your body longer. This can cause chronic inflammation, heart disease, digestive problems, and weight gain, to name a few. Because the FDA food labeling laws and consumer awareness, many manufacturers have worked to reformulate their products in a way to reduce or eliminate these trans fats. However, they still exist in many products that you wouldn't expect them to be. So look for trans fats in products such as cookies, crackers, cakes, muffins, pizza doughs, margarine, pancake mixes, French fries, candy, and packaged popcorn, to name a few. Refined sugars and simple sugars like corn syrup, honey, maple syrup, and white grape juice concentrate place stress on our blood sugar control levels when they are eaten in high amounts. The blood sugar level quickly rises, producing the release of insulin. Eating foods high in simple sugars usually is very harmful to blood sugar control, especially for hypoglycemics and diabetics. Currently, more than half of the carbohydrates being consumed by most Americans are in the form of sugar and are added to food as sweetening agents. Read food labels carefully for clues to sugar content if the words sucrose, glucose, maltose, lactose, fructose, corn syrup, or even white grape juice concentrate appear on the label. This means extra sugar has been added as a sweetening agent. Be sure to read all the labels carefully for the sugar content. It is impossible to eliminate sugar completely, but the goal is to read labels and decrease your sugar intake as much as possible. The sheer number and quantity of pesticides showered on certain foods is absolutely astounding. For example, over 50 different pesticides are used on broccoli, 110 on apples, and 70 pesticides on bell peppers. As many of the pesticides penetrate the entire fruit and vegetable and cannot be washed off, it is best to buy organic grown produce when possible. In addition to pesticides, consumers must also be aware of the waxes applied to many fruits and vegetables. These waxes seal in the water contained in the produce, thereby keeping it looking fresh. Currently, the FDA has approved 6 types of waxes to use on produce, including shellac, paraffin, palm oil derivatives, and synthetic resins. These are the same items used in furniture, floor, and car waxes. According to the FDA law, grocery stores must display a sign noting that waxes or post-harvested pesticides have been applied. Unfortunately, most stores do not comply with the law, and the FDA lacks the personnel to enforce it. Here are some ways to reduce your exposure to pesticides. Number 1, buy local produce that is in season. Find your local farmers market and attend it weekly, or try to join a CSA, which means a community-supported agriculture group. This will increase the likelihood of the produce being produced domestically rather than from foreign countries that have poor control over the amount of pesticides that farmers use. Number 2, buy organically grown produce when possible. The term organic means that the produce was grown without the aid of synthetic chemicals, including pesticides and fertilizers. Number 3, if organic produce is not readily available, develop a good relationship with your local grocery store produce manager. Explain your desire to reduce your exposure to pesticides and waxes. Ask what measures the store takes to ensure that pesticide residues are within tolerable limits. Number 4, to remove surface pesticide residues, waxes, fungicides, and fertilizers, soak your produce in a mild solution of additive-free soap such as Ivory or Pure Castile soap from your health food store. There are also natural biodegradable cleansers available at most health food stores, or you can visit our online shopping store at naturalmedicinenow.com. Simply spray your produce with the cleanser and then scrub it and rinse it off. Alternatively, you can also peel the skin or remove the outer layers of the leaves of your produce, since that's where most of the pesticides are concentrated. Now we're going to talk about the sodium-potassium balance. Americans eat far too much sodium and too little potassium. Excessive consumption of salt, also known as sodium chloride, coupled with low levels of dietary potassium, greatly stresses the kidney's ability to maintain proper fluid volume. As a result, some people become salt sensitive. For them, high salt intake causes high blood pressure and water retention. In order to avoid becoming salt sensitive, you must not only reduce salt intake, but you must simultaneously increase your intake of potassium. This is easily done by increasing your intake of high potassium foods and avoiding high sodium foods. On the slide, you will see a list of high potassium foods such as Swiss chard, lima beans, sweet potatoes, soybeans, spinach, pinto beans, lentils, avocado, and kidney beans. If you really must have the taste of salt, use natural salt substitutes that uses herbs and spices like Mrs. Dash or a product called New Salt. If I could make a single dietary recommendation for people to get healthier, it would be to move towards a whole foods plant-based diet. Our Natural Medicine Now recommendations for a diet focuses primarily on plant-based whole foods such as vegetables, fruits, nuts, seeds, whole grains, legumes, and lean meats in moderation. Such a diet will offer significant protection against the development of chronic degenerative diseases. Eating a plant-based whole food diet means that you have to eat a wide variety of foods. Here are some examples of my favorite foods: kale, broccoli, quinoa, ground flax seeds, ground chia seeds, raw almonds and walnuts, all types of berries, avocados, black beans, lentils, and hemp seeds. Over the next couple slides, you're going to learn the benefits of why we need to eat a whole food plant-based diet. One of the key benefits of a plant-based diet is the high content of dietary fiber. Generally, the term dietary fiber refers to the plant cell walls and the non-nutritive residue. A plant-based diet is low in saturated fat and high in essential fatty acid, and it has very high antioxidants and phytochemicals. These are all important plant compounds that offer significant protection against disease like heart disease, cancer, and arthritis. A good goal for dietary fiber intake is 25 to 35 grams daily. This can be easily achieved if the dietary focus is on whole, unprocessed plant foods. Vegetables are an excellent source of fiber. In fact, 1 cup of cooked carrots has almost the same amount of fiber as 3 slices of whole wheat bread or 2 cups of oatmeal. So for this reason, let's talk more about the benefits of vegetables. Vegetables provide the broadest range of nutrients of any food class. They are a rich source of vitamins, minerals, carbohydrates, and proteins. The little fat they contain is in the form of essential fatty acids. Vegetables provide high quantities of other valuable health-promoting substances, especially fiber and carotenes. In Latin, the word vegetable means to enliven or animate. Vegetables give us life. More and more evidence is accumulating that vegetables can prevent as well as treat many diseases. The best way to consume vegetables is in their fresh, raw form. In their fresh form, many of the nutrients and health-promoting components of vegetables are provided in much higher concentrations. Drinking fresh vegetable juices is an excellent way to make sure you're achieving your daily quota of vegetables. When cooking vegetables, it's important that they not be overcooked. Overcooking will not only result in the loss of important nutrients, but will alter the flavor of the vegetables. Do not boil vegetables unless you are making soup, because many of the nutrients will get left in the cooking water. If fresh vegetables are not available, frozen vegetables are preferred over canned. If you're trying to lose weight, these foods are especially valuable because they can keep you feeling satisfied between meals. As a general rule, I recommend that you eat 1 big-ass salad a day. Yep, I said it. A big-ass salad. That should be your goal to make sure you get all your fruits and vegetables. So now we're on to fruits. Regular fruit consumption has been shown to offer significant protection against many chronic degenerative diseases. Fruits make excellent snacks because they contain fructose, which is fruit sugar. This sugar is absorbed slowly into the bloodstream, allowing time for the body to utilize it. Fruits are an excellent source of vitamins and minerals, as well as containing a lot of fiber. However, fruits are not as dense with nutrients as vegetables because they're typically higher in calories because they have more sugar. That is why vegetables are a favorite over fruits, especially if you're trying to lose weight. Whole grain breads and cereals are classified as complex carbohydrates. Chemically, complex carbohydrates are made up of long chains of simple carbohydrates or sugars. This means that the body has to digest or break down the large sugar chains into simple sugars. Therefore, the sugars from the complex carbohydrates enter the bloodstream more slowly than refined sugars do, keeping blood sugar levels and appetite better controlled. Whole grains are a major source of dietary fiber, mineral, and B vitamins. The quality and content of the protein in a whole grain is greater than that of a refined grain. Diets rich in whole grains have been shown to be protective against the development of cancer, heart disease, diabetes, colon cancer, inflammatory bowel disease, and diverticulitis. Choose whole grain products like whole grain bread, whole grain flour, and brown rice over their processed counterparts such as white bread, white flour, and white rice. Legumes, also known as beans, are among the oldest cultivated plants. Fossil records indicate that prehistoric people cultivated certain legumes for food. They are second to grains and supply calories and protein to world populations. Compared with grains, legumes supply the same number of total calories per serving, but they provide much more protein. Try to incorporate legumes such as black beans, dried peas, garbanzo beans, kidney beans, lentils, lima beans, pinto beans, soybeans, tempeh, and tofu into your diet. The human body needs fat as it functions in our bodies as components of nerve cells, cellular membranes, and hormone-like substances. There are two types of essential fatty acids: the good, anti-inflammatory omega-3 fatty acids, and the not always so good, often pro-inflammatory omega-6 fatty acids. We need both, but in a healthy ratio of 1 to 2 omega-6s for every omega-3. In today's society, we consume as much as 15 times more omega-6 fatty acids than the healthy omega-3s. This imbalance leads to a continuous state of systemic body inflammation, which is believed to be one of the main causes behind many of the modern diseases such as allergies, asthma, and other autoimmune disease. To improve this ratio, you need to consume more omega-3 rich foods such as oily fish, leafy greens, flax seeds, and omega-3 enriched eggs, and reduce the consumptions of food containing too much omega-6, like processed seed oils such as soybean, canola, safflower, and corn oil. Taking an omega-3 fatty acid supplement such as a fish or cod liver oil is also beneficial if you're not consuming enough fish in your diet. Algae supplementation is advised for those that are allergic to fish or if they are vegetarian. Dairy is a very subjective topic. Many people are unable to properly digest milk because they lack an enzyme called lactase, necessary to break down lactose, the natural sugar in milk. Many people have a difficult time digesting casein, which is another protein found in milk. Ongoing exposure to casein that is not properly broken down is strongly associated with chronic ear infections, nasal congestions, acne, eczema, and a variety of autoimmune illnesses, and even cancer. So, what's our recommendations on milk? Conventional milk is pasteurized, and it's a process that exposes milk to high temperatures and results in the following: denaturing of milk proteins that make them less usable and even harmful to the body, destruction of enzymes, one of which is phosphatase, which is an enzyme that can help the body properly absorb calcium, and destruction of certain vitamins like B12, B6, and vitamin C. And pasteurization also destructs friendly bacteria in your gut. In a perfect world, everyone should consume raw milk. But we live in a real world. So here at Natural Medicine Now, we make recommendations to eat clean dairy. The truth is, the only honestly clean milk is raw milk. But it's really hard to find, and it's expensive, and it's actually illegal to buy in many states. So what we recommend is organic full-fat milk. As for the cheeses, avoid the non-fat cheese because this has so many artificial flavors and preservatives in it, and plus some of them just taste awful. As for the fake cheese products, this is something that you want to avoid like the plague. The cheesy dips, the spreads, and the stuff that comes out of the spray bottle. They are not clean or healthy on any level. Realmilk.com is a website that provides more information on what constitutes healthy milk and where to find it. When choosing fish, choose cold water fish such as salmon, mackerel, and herring, which provide healthy omega-3 fatty acids. There are hundreds of studies on these beneficial oils in fish that reduce the risk of heart disease and strokes. While studies have linked red meat consumption to heart disease and cancer, it's important to point out that most studies do not separate out quality, focusing instead on the amount of meat consumed. While overconsumption of meat, especially high-fat, charbroiled, or well-done cuts is not healthful, lean cuts of organic grass-fed beef eaten in moderation are excellent sources of many nutrients. Lean beef is an excellent source of protein, providing a daily value for protein in just 4 ounces. In addition to being a good source of protein, lean organic beef is an excellent source of vitamin B12 and a good source of vitamin B6, which are 2 key vitamins for proper cellular function. And contrary to belief, lean red meat has no greater effect on blood cholesterol levels than the equivalent amount of lean chicken or turkey. See the slide for some tips on how to choose healthy meats and meat substitutes. When it comes to eating meat, you don't have to have it in every meal. Choose to eat meats in moderation and add in whole food sources of proteins like nuts, seeds, and legumes. Water is extremely vital to our health. In fact, water is the most plentiful substance in our body, constitutes over 60 to 70% of our body weight. Not drinking enough water puts a great deal of stress on the body. Kidney function is likely to be affected, gallstones, kidney stones are likely to be formed, and the immune function can be impaired. It is extremely important that water is one of the most critical nutrients that you consume. As a rule of thumb, we recommend drinking half of your body weight of ounces in water. So if you weigh 200 pounds, you will need to consume 100 ounces of water daily. There is also currently a great concern over our water supply. It is becoming increasingly difficult to find pure water. Most of our water supply is full of chemicals, including chlorine, fluoride, and other chemicals such as pesticide residues, heavy metals such as lead, mercury, and cadmium. It is estimated that lead alone may contaminate the water of 40 million Americans. We recommend that you get a good water filter that can filter out all of the different heavy metals, pesticides, and residues so you can drink pure, clean water to feed your cells. So here are your action plans. Number 1, start having a meatless Monday to ensure that one day a week you eat a bunch of whole grain, plant-based foods. Number 2, I want you to eat one big ass salad a day. Do it for a week and see how you feel. Number 3, clean out your pantry of all of the foods that contain artificial flavors and colors. Read those labels and throw those artificial chemicals in the trash. Thank you so much for joining our webinar. Good health comes down to choices we make on a day-to-day basis. Make a commitment to follow the nutritional guidelines that we went through during this webinar about 80% of the time. That will help you build a strong foundation for optimal health. Take action and prevent disease by eating whole grain, real, fresh, organic, unprocessed foods. Eat lots of fruits and vegetables full of colorful phytonutrients, and eat foods with plenty of fiber and omega-3 fats. Stay tuned for our next webinar where we're going to go over how to correct nutritional deficiencies. For more information, visit our website, naturalmedicinenow.com. This is Dr. Tiffany Jackson at Natural Medicine Now University, wishing you a happy and healthy day.